Well, I'm going to make some people's heads, a lot of people's heads explode over this one, probably. It'll be funny. I can't wait for the trolls to show up. Welcome. Howdy. Good morning. Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. How are you all today? Grab a cup of something, and that's one of our most popular mugs right there. And sit down, and I want to tell you something. I want to give you some of the best advice I have ever given you. Ever. Let me take a sip, and then I'll do it. You know, maybe I should preface this by saying that I'm not a YouTube guy. I make YouTubes, obviously, but I run several family businesses, have for years, and I'm a writer. Okay, I wrote the Stonemont series, for those of you who may not be familiar with me. I often get, and I love it when I hear a comment saying something like, I read those books, I loved them, but I didn't know you were the author. Yes, I am. And I only started this channel, I don't know how many years ago, when I thought, I ought to have a way to kind of expand on what I talk about in the books, because I'd have people ask me questions. And that's all the only reason that I did it. Since I started, I've come to enjoy it. And I've enjoyed the relationships that I've developed with the different viewers and things like that, especially those over on Patreon. We had a great gathering this summer, and maybe I have selected the date for next year's gathering. And I'll tell everybody on Patreon first, and then I'll tell YouTube later. But I've come to enjoy it, and I've had the opportunity to pass on some information, because I've been at this for a long time, guys. I've been involved in preparedness for 60 years, if you count Boy Scouts. 50 years if you don't, maybe, something like that. I mean, my dad started teaching me this stuff, living in the woods, throwing a knife and an axe and all that stuff, when I was 10. Okay, so I've always just lived this life. But when preparedness started getting big here 15 years ago, or whenever it did, 15, 20, something like that, I said, well, good. I'm glad that people are catching up. It's about time that more people got interested in this. And that's one of the things. One of the things that made me write my first book, and which became the series, was then I saw a lot of people coming out and saying things that were just not right. They were fairly new to preparedness. And although I know they were interested, and their heart was in the right place, there were just a lot of things they were writing and talking about that just weren't right. I read a couple of books, and I said, nah, that's just not right, which caused me to write my books. Well, all of this as a way of saying, as explaining, before I tell you probably the best piece of advice I have ever given on here, is that I don't live and die by YouTube. Okay, YouTube is not my source of income. If it went away tomorrow, I wouldn't notice. Let's just be real honest about that. So it's not the money. Yeah, they run ads on there, and I monetize them simply because why they're going to put ads on anyway, and why let them keep all the money, right? So if I'm putting time in, or what I really want to do is help people and give advice and things like that. But yeah, I'm not going to let YouTube keep all the money off of my work, and so that's the only reason I do. But here's the thing: like I say, if YouTube went away tomorrow, or if they demonetized my channel, or whatever, I wouldn't notice. Okay, so that's the important thing to understand. And I've been pretty dissatisfied. Well, maybe I'll hold that off until this. I want to tell you something. I watched a video by a Canadian prepper this morning, and I don't watch him often. I just don't have time. Maybe I should say this. I came out, oh gosh, I don't know. I don't know how long ago. It's been a while back. And where I said I was going to tell the truth about Canadian prepper. It exploded. It was probably the biggest video I'd ever had. And a lot of people hated me because I gave an honest review of him and was very positive. This is a smart guy who has done a lot. He has taken an interest and built a business out of it. And many people are jealous of that, and so they hate him, right? And I had heard negative things about him for a long time, mainly from smaller channels who are jealous, to be honest. I can't stand, he just wants to sell stuff and he just wants to do that and do this, as if the company that they bought all their guns from, whether it be Glock or somebody else, doesn't just want to sell stuff. You think Glock sells guns to help you? No, they do it to make money, and that is an idea that's foreign, sadly, to many preppers. Or Bass Pro or Cabela's. You think they sell all that stuff to help you? No, they sell it to make money. You see, that's what makes the world go round, and that's what allows people to do whatever they want to with their lives, including preparing. Okay, so I would hear this crap from these jealous channels all the time, but he's making fun of Canadian prepper. He just wants to sell stuff. So I didn't watch him for a long time, and finally then I watched him, and I said, well, he's not at all. This is a smart guy. He gives great advice. I know apparently lately he's done a lot of the headline stuff, which a lot of prepper channels have gone to. They're just talking about, whether it's the latest, whatever the latest problem is in the world, and I don't keep up on that stuff that much because half of it's false, probably more than half of it's 90% of what you hear is just fed to you to get a reaction out of you, to make you go this way, that way, and most people just like a bunch of sheep with the border collie out there going, and so when I watched him, I said, well, this is a smart guy. And I made that video saying that this is, I gave him a very positive, not that he needs it, for crying out loud. I wasn't doing him any favor. He's a huge channel, and he didn't know me from a hole in the ground. And I'd get people saying, oh, way to go, just trying to boost your numbers by putting his name in there, and other people calling me a sellout, and other people calling me a this and a that. And my Lord, it gave me the opportunity to see what a lot of the so-called prepper world really was, and to ban a lot of people, which I love banning idiots. I love responding to nice folks like you, but I love banning idiots. So anyway, that's a lead up to this. I watched a Canadian prepper video today. I forget the name. It was something like the 10 things. It was one of those 10 things. And it was put out 4 days ago, and I will put the link on the Patreon channel. For those of you who don't know, when we put it up, when I put up a video on YouTube, I also put it on my Patreon channel. But then Patreon, it allows me to put a link. Well, YouTube would allow me, but I don't. I put the links on the Patreon channel for my patrons who have gone the extra step and spent a whole $1 a month to get extra stuff from me. And so they can just easily access it. And if you're not with me on Patreon, well, shame on you, because you're missing out on a lot. But you can find it. Just go to Canadian Prepper. And 4 days ago, 10 things or something. I don't know. I want to say this. It was the best. Here's my advice. The best advice I have given in a short video. Now, the best advice I have given is in my 7 novels, the Stonemont series, okay? I say there's not a question you can think of that I haven't already answered in detail in those books. I didn't bring them out here with me. Trying to get the last ones shipped out today that I need to sign and ship. And then you can order them again from me through the website if you would like. I don't talk about it when I fall behind on orders, but you can get it through Amazon too. All the books, links down below. Here's the best piece of advice I think I've ever given on a video. Watch Canadian Prepper's video from 4 days ago. Now, am I trying to ingratiate myself to Canadian Prepper? Canadian Prepper doesn't know I exist. It's not going to help me a bit. It's going to help you. It is the best. video I have ever seen on preparedness, on the process of preparedness. Okay, and prepping, and I think prepping is a process. Preparedness is it's it's a point of completion. That's why I don't call people preppers. I call them preparedness-minded people. They are in the process of preparing to be prepared. But this one of Canadian preppers, it is probably, it is without a doubt the best video I have ever seen on the process and everything. In, I don't know how long it is, 30 minutes, something like that, maybe a little bit longer. He probably covered everything in 30 minutes that I have covered in so many of my videos. So many. Because I'll get on one topic and then I'll just kind of, stay with that topic and talk about it. And they're all important. But he nails them all in a half-hour video. Not only is it probably the best preparedness video I have ever seen, it's probably the best preparedness speech, talk I have ever heard, including my own. And of course, he puts so much work into his videos too. I mean, the editing is just amazing. The graphics are just amazing. He is really he has done what more people ought to try to do, and he has taken an interest and developed it into a big business that supports him and his family. And that's what makes so many people jealous, because they won't put in the effort to do it. And so they would rather come. It's always easier to complain and to tear down somebody who has done something, criticize somebody who has done something, than to up your game and try to do it yourself. It's the old Roosevelt's man in the arena, right? So that's really all I wanted to say. He explains, because I'm sure he gets good. I can't imagine how many trolls he gets, because I get my share. And he explains it. He says, don't compare yourself to other preppers. He uses that term, Don't compare. He says, he's don't be envious of other people. He's been at it a long time, and he's made a lot of mistakes, and he talks about it. And he gets into, he covers so many of the things that I do. Knock it off with all the gear stuff. He says he has come around to understand. And I thought this was great. This was something great that he said. He said he has come to understand, because he started off, I think, living in an apartment or something, and just thinking about all the gear, and essentially that he was going to bug out when something happened. I don't know what got him involved or interested in preparedness. Maybe he said so in one of his videos. I don't know. Doesn't matter. The fact is, he did, and he's been successful. But he said he started off in an apartment with just gear, and so when he started off, it was all about the gear, right? And people love that, and I think that's why his channel grew so much. I don't do much gear. I don't care. Get something that's suitable. And he says this. He says he finally came to understand. Get something that'll do the job, and then let it go. And then go on to the next step. But he says that he has come to understand that it's not about gear, it's not about cool stuff, it's about families and relationships. And that is so true. How often have you heard me say that? Okay? My books, those of you who have read my books, it's all about community. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in there. There's slavery, there's cannibalism, there's gunfights, there's this, there's that, there's everything in the world. But when it comes down to it, it's all about community, family and community. And I thought that was just great that he explained that, his kind of evolution into that. Anyway, that's about all I'm going to say, because that's all I need to say. You don't need to hear me talk anymore. What you do need to do is go watch his video. It will be the best. Now, some of you won't need it. Some of you more advanced people, but I think you'll enjoy it, because you'll be nodding. You'll go, yep, that's right. Yep, that's right. And it's always nice to hear other people who are on the same level as you, right? Who feel the same way you do, because it just kind of Well, we enjoy it. That's why we have the friends who we have, right? It's not that we need an echo chamber. It's that we enjoy being around people who understand the same things, right? So, and the rest of you, you will learn more. You will get more lessons in 30 minutes if you haven't watched Canadian Prepper before in this one video than you will have gotten in I don't know how many. If you have been scared off of Canadian Prepper by these channels who are all about the doom and gloom and trying to do everything with a pocket knife and a piece of string, do yourself a favor and go watch him. That's all I need to say. All right. Like I said, and some people on here just can't stand the fact that people sell things, and that's tough, that shows envy and a lack of self-confidence in themselves. But I didn't bring my books out. If you haven't read the Stonemont series, they're my books. They're the best series you will ever read about preparing for, surviving, and rebuilding after a complete collapse of everything. The links are down below. You can get them through Amazon in paperback, Kindle, and Audible, or you can get them directly through me on our website, stonemont.us. All those links are down below, and if you get them from me, I sign them. I get to sign them for you and I write a little note in there for you, and which I love doing. And I do get behind. I get so swamped with orders. Thank you all for that. It's a great problem to have. But I get behind, and you won't get them as fast, let me put it that way, as you would through Amazon. But you'll get them from me directly, and I love to do that. So, and that's also where you get all of our mugs and T-shirts and stuff like that. You know why? Because people like them. And if people like them, I'm happy to make them available. So you all have a great day. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And you're going to live better after watching Canadian Prepper's video that he put out 4 days ago. All right. You guys have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.